Hello and welcome to the MPNFL Division 2 Grand Final here for the under-19s. We're currently sitting up here, no rain at the moment. We've got not a bad crowd in over on the far side under the cover. We've got some people just coming in now. Obviously, we've been out on the ground, conditions a little bit wet as we went underfoot, but it's going to be a cracking afternoon here as we just acknowledge the national anthem. So we can see both sides ready for the contest. This is AJ King. We've got Dylan alongside me. Dylan, thanks for joining us in the Under-19 Division 2 Grand Final.
Thanks, AJ. Happy to be here. Yeah, well, the 3 times they've met this year, Langwarrin have won pretty convincingly, but Seaford, they have their tails up after a 106-point dropping of Somerville last week. Their women's side also won the premiership against Coburg last week, so plenty of stories that need to be written, and we'll see which one will be the case.
Absolutely. As we look through the sides and people that we want to have a look at today, the one for mine with Langwarrin, is Jai Moley. He obviously started in the under-19s throughout the year. Matt Norton went down in the seniors. He was thrust into the ruck in the Langwarrin seniors, and he went that well that he was picked to then go and play in the Stingrays.
Yeah, definitely a revelation, and the Seaford ruckman will have his hands full all day, you'd imagine. Plenty of forward targets as well for Langwarrin. Riley Staggart, that's the one that I'll have my eye on. AJ?
Yeah, I think he'll need to have a big performance for Langwarrin, but looking at Seaford's lineup as well, a lot of guys that have had senior experience this year with Angus Giddings-Constable. We've also got Hunter Quint, Mitch Harvey, and the one for mine is Matthew Kennedy up forward, who was producing at senior level throughout the year. And I think for Seaford, the 2 players that really need to turn it on and swing the momentum their way will be Mitch Harvey and that man in Matthew Kennedy up forward.
Absolutely. Nearly all set and ready to go. Grand final day. An early start. Would it be too early for you, AJ, do you think?
It's good. It's not too bad, mate. It's September footy. I'm happy to be here at any time. So let's having a look at some of the matchups. We've got Brodie Edwards, who will be in the ruck up against that Jai Moley, as we spoke about. And just have a look at the size difference already. He's a man mountain. So I'll look forward to seeing how that contest plays out throughout the day. Another one that I'm excited to watch is Sam Van Brummelen for Langwarrin. But we're about to get underway in the Division 2 Grand Final, under-19s. Moley getting the decisive tap out. So they're just working it by hand so far, Langwarrin. Bit of a scrubby kick. It's rebounded by Seaford. They're able to go forward. Ball bounces over the back. Alit runs onto it for Langwarrin. He goes with a bit of a dangerous kick into the corridor. Who's it going to sit for? Just bouncing around at the moment. The player there in Bloom got it. Back to Kelly. So they're under pressure here, Langwarrin. Can Seaford get on the board early? They cannot. Ball trickles out and we'll get a throw in.
Yeah, strong forward pressure early. Unlucky for Lachlan Osborne there, but Seaford are pressing. Definitely pressing. And we'll see if they can strike first in the opening minutes of the Under-19s Grand Final for Division 2. And it's taken away by Langwarrin. They'll flush it out of defence. Jenkins slipped over and his opponent, Bruce de Laborde, took it away. But now it's Seaford. A smothered kick. Jenkins goes again with the second effort. It's bottled up by his opposite number, Bath. And it's centre half forward. It stays alive. Hacked over to the wing. Equal numbers in the air. A drop chest mark by Tibbles. And it now heads or skids over to the boundary line.
So a hot contest early from both sides. Just like we thought, Jai Moley is getting the ascendancy in the ruck so far. Ball thrown back in. He just takes it out of the ruck. He goes by hand over to Van Brummelen. He goes further over the top to the play there in Sullivan. He drives it long. But taking a good mark for Seaford is Jacobs. He's going to go into the corridor. Bit of a risky kick. Doesn't find his target, but it may work out for Seaford. Ball still in the corridor here. Langwarrin then to go inside forward 50. Spoiled away. Where are the crummers for Langwarrin? Pressure's on. And the umpire calls for it, so we'll get a stoppage almost at the top of the 50-metre mark. Heading towards the bay end for Langwarrin. Jai Molly, look how impressive he is so far. Tackle applied. That's Harvey doing the grunt work for Seaford. And the umpire calls for another stoppage.
Just keep an eye on Angus Giddings Constable. I think he's all right. He might have just had a little hand issue on the ruck as Molly is brought down in the tackle. That's holding the ball, no doubt about it. And Jacobs, in fact, it won't be Jacobs. It'll be Jordan White to take the kick at centre-half back for Seaford. Neither side yet to score again. A dangerous kick through the middle. Cut off by Van Brummelen as they edge towards centre-half forward. Van Brummelen receives it back. He pokes one up in the air, but the numbers are with Seaford. Bit of miscommunication. Eventually, they gather it under their control. It's a wide kick, and it'll escape them all. And it's out on the full. It'll be the Kangaroos' ball.
So it certainly started hot for Langwarrin. Player there in Bruce Dillabord has the footy. He goes in looking for a target. Who can stand up and take the first mark inside forward 50? It comes to ground. Quick kick going forward. But taking the intercept mark there is Hunter Quinn for Seaford. So it's in the goal square for Langwarrin. But Seaford are going to repel. They've got Matthew Kennedy out here near the wing. He goes up, can't take the mark. Ball comes to ground. Players dive on it and we'll get another stoppage.
3.5 minutes in. We mentioned Seaford's pressure early on, and now they'll have to hold up all the play in the last minute in Langwarrin's forward line. Molly taps it forward, and emerging is Van Brummelen again, hooking one forward on the left, and a strong mark with authority taken down forward. And Langwarrin will have the opening shot.
Early on, folks, Langwarrin 5 inside 50s to Seaford's 2 at the moment.
Brodie Tibbles has been a big player in front of goals. He took a strong mark there. He'll line up for Langwarrin's first of the afternoon, the first score. Sorry, the first of the morning. We're used to saying the afternoon, but of course a very early start as Tibbles comes in. And he has the first on the board for Langwarrin, so they go to 1 straight 6. Seaford yet to score. We've been playing 4.5 minutes on the Chisholm Sports Academy scoreboard. So certainly Langwarrin pressing there. A couple of times Seaford went inside forward 50 that they weren't able to capitalise. But it was certainly Langwarrin who have got the first score on the board, and they're getting first use out of the ruck through Jai Moley.
Have to be so precise and clean in these conditions. No downpour of rain, but a slippery footy, slippery turf, and Molly in the ruck. Edwards has his hands full, falls to ground level, it's still locked away. The umpire will call the whistle and we'll do it all again. Ticking over 5 minutes into this opening quarter. Brodie Tibbles striking first. If you've just joined us, and Molly streaking away, delivering up to the half-forward line, broken up in the air well by Jack Williams, who has a looping hand pass to the outer side. Hunter Quinn to high up and under, and a stray. Molly able to take the mark. Probably could have let it fall out in the full. But now he'll fake one on the man on the mark and put it inside 50 again. Flies come from every angle, but down at ground level, waiting sensibly. Unfortunately, just missed and coming up a little skinny. It was Tom Sullivan.
Probably should have given the handball over to Tibbles. He was out there, but it's very impressive for Langwarrin that when you see a ruckman at 19 years of age is dominating from the first contest, and I think that's the reason why Langwarrin probably are the favourites today.
Out the back hatch. And now it's Langwarrin again through Max Butler. Creeping back. Maybe a deliberate hand pass out of bounds, and it is called insufficient intent. Seaford's turn now. Matthew Kennedy, the man AJ spoke of in the pre-game show. Free kick given away by Michael Mullins. Kennedy hurls it forward. It spills out the back, a one-on-one contest, front position with the Roos. He played it well. It'll sneak over the line. We'll have a ball up inside Seaford's 50.
Both sides do look damaging when they go inside forward 50 at the moment, Dylan. They both look like they're going to score majority of the times they go in as the ball's thrown in deep in the Seaford forward line. Molly, he just tries to clear the footy. Tackle applied. Ball comes to ground. Constable is over it. And Mullins, he goes in and takes a relieving mark for Langwarrin. He's able to repel. He goes out to centre half back, but standing all alone was a Seaford player in Whiteman. He's got the footy. He's going to drive it long, having a target there in Rao. Can he stand up? No, he can't take the mark. Ball comes out. We'll get a throw in. So certainly the guys that have played senior footy are standing out at the moment. Giddings, Constable, also Jai Moley, Hunter Quint, and also Van Brumlem.
Ball thrown back in Seaford's forward line. Molly, another precise tap. It comes out to the wing. Jenkins lost his footing, lost sight of the footy as well as his teammate was engulfed by the tackle, Jordan White, but he's taken high. A little too ferocious, Brodie Tibbles, who kicked the opening goal in the first few minutes. And Jordan White, a quick assessment of what's ahead. Now he sends it into the leading lanes. Numbers are with the Roos, but nearly claiming the mark. A Tigers forward. It stays loose. They've got numbers surrounding the footy. It's still falling into the pack. And a dispute to follow. Umpire just refraining from calling the whistle. Eventually it comes out the back. High up and under, and it's marked. Zachariel trying to create something, but now it's cut off. And Kane Timms, maybe too far out to score. He looks eager to pass it off, and now he'll go back and take the shot.
Yeah, I think he needs to just go back and have a shot.
And he does that. It's smothered. Probably could have faked him out, and then barreling into the opponent was Ethan Barth, who provided the smother. Another kick lodged forward and through the fingertips of Max Butler for another throw in.
So the crowd's certainly picking up here, Dylan. Yep. We've got plenty of numbers down below us. Over on the far side, ball thrown in. Kennedy and Molly doing the right work. Giddings Constable has a fresh airy. Ball's just bouncing around on the ground. Quick kick out. Smothered there by Mitch Harvey. He then gets the handball out to his teammate in Osborne. He's tackled. Over the footy is a big pack. Umpire's going to pluck out a free kick here going the way of Kane Timms. He's going to drive it inside forward 50 looking for a target who can take the mark, and Matthew Kennedy has. So he's been dangerous early, being opposed to Mullins, and he's going to go back and look to get Seaford's first goal on the board this morning. We've played nearly 10 minutes in the first quarter. Currently Langwarrin 1-1-7. And Seaford yet to score. But we don't want to put the moz on him, Dylan. But he should go back and at least get their first score of the morning. Steady approach. In he comes. He likes it off the boot straight away. So Seaford get there first. They move on to 1 straight 6. Langwarrin 1-1-7.
He is a strong contested marker, but he's always a strong source of goals as well. Kicked 7 against Crib Point. He's also had a bag of 5. And he knows when to produce a needed goal against the flow there for the last couple of minutes.
The big bag was also in the seniors as well, so that he has been a revelation because he's sort of been known for his cricketing ability, Matthew Kennedy, across the peninsula. Obviously, internally at Seaford, he's known for his footy, but he's a bright product as Moley. He gets the tap out down once again. Ball comes out. Langwarrin are going to go inside forward, or not just inside, but Van Brumlem takes the mark. This time he'll probably look to go inside forward 50. He goes in. Who's creating a target? And they've taken the mark, the Roos. They've been good going inside, very efficient. Taking the mark is Tom Sullivan. He looks like he's going to go back and have a shot on goal. Always harder kicking towards the bay end. But we'll see if he's got the distance. He's Going to have to kick just inside forward 50. He goes in short with a very
Well
smart
played.
kiss. Smart kiss, sorry. And Brody Tibbles. That was a great kick inside.
Yeah.
He knew he didn't have the distance.
Well, he kicked 3 goals in their last game in the semi, so I thought he was having the shot.
As Tibbles, in he comes. And he has put through his second of the morning. Langwarrin going to 2-1-13. Seaford 1 straight 6. And the inside forward 50 count at the moment, Sus?
Looking at, it's narrowed the gap. For Seaford, it's up to 6, and for Langwarrin, it's at 7. Interesting that Seaford were dominating for that last 3 to 4 minutes, but just a role reversal for Langwarrin, and they capitalise.
Always important to attack on the scoreboard. That's what Brody Tibbles has done early. 2 goals, and the only 2 goals as Molly spikes it forward out of the ruck. Might have got a piece of his opposing ruckman again, and he taps it to the outer wing. Snapped up by the Roos defence. They'll look to slice their way through, and diving hard at ground level was Molly's teammate in McCullough. Into the forward 50 for the Roos. Numbers at ground level with the Tigers. And a whistle, and he's been taken high. And a quick play on. And another smart kick. They're just sharing it. This time to Harley Storen.
Their ball efficiencies are starting to cause some issues for Seaford at the moment.
Especially inside forward 50. They're hitting that small kick on the 45.
First year was in 2016 for Langwarrin in the juniors. 81 games since then. 15 goals. He hooks the kick. It might still work out for the Roos. Fell short. Put back to a dangerous spot. It hit the head of Rendell. And that will be out in the full by the Tigers. Almost up near us. It'll come back. And the Roos to retain possession. Plenty of subs being made. Back on is Bruce Dillabord for the Roos. But to take the kick, Flynn Kelly. Just his opening possession of the game. 14 minutes in to half forward. A big fly from the side, but not claimed in the end. Hacked out of there by the Tigers. It skips past Wanru, and then they almost collide. Bloom with the footy. But he can't escape the tackle.
The pressure from both sides has been up.
Another ball up. Just forward of centre for the Roos.
Jai Miley's gone forward, Dylan, so look for him to be a target.
Staggered, couldn't break the shackles, but he was taken high by Jenkins. And he has, on the overlap, Bloom. He won't use him. He'll elect to just dish it up into the 50 again for the Roos. Spoil coming from the back. It stays in the pack. No one able to extract it. And a free kick going the way of the Tigers. So now their pressure is lifted again. Nearly 15 minutes in. It's Langwarrin by 7 in the opening quarter of the grand final. Through the centre. Always a difficult operation. Tapped forward for the Tigers. And it slips past a couple. And now they have the numbers. Heading forward, Wilmot bangs it to the square. It skips and skips all the way through. And the Tigers have their seconds. Don't think that's what he was intending to do, but it doesn't matter.
Won't say how it was kicked on the scoreboard, Dylan.
Exactly right.
As long as it goes through and it's recorded as a goal.
You can claim a 50-metre goal there.
Absolutely. Chisholm Sports Academy scoreboard sees Langwarrin 2-1-13, Seaford 2 straight. We're back in the middle. Jack Orchard's into the ruck for Langwarrin now. He gets the hit out down to his waiting midfield. Tackle was applied straight away, and the umpire's going to call for it once again. So, ferocious tackle applied. And once again, we've only moved a couple of metres as the umpire calls for it. Rucks do battle. So Langwarrin have got the ascendancy in the ruck work at the moment. Harvey gets a handball out. That was over the play there in Jenkins. He goes towards the half-forward line. Ball comes to ground. Langwarrin are able to just extract it out. They've gone up the ground and they've found the player there in Alet. He goes on his left, looking for a target in Sam Van Brumlin, who comes across the pack. He takes a great mark. He can switch the footy, but he's going to go a bit more direct. Good intercept there by Seaford. Ball's on the ground, tackle applied. And the umpire's going to call for it just inside the forward 50 for Langwarrin. It looked like the player there and Jesse Jewis was going to take them up for Langwarrin, but he couldn't, as Moley's going to do the ruck work inside forward 50. He gets the handball out over the top. Seaford are just able to put it towards the boundary line, and we'll get another throw in right next to the behind post in the forward 50 for Langwarrin. So we've been playing nearly 17 and a half minutes. Langwarrin 2-1-13. Seaford 2 straight goals. Chisholm Sports Academy scoreboard. As the ball inside the forward 50 for Langwarrin, it's rebounded by Seaford. It's out to the half-back line. Kennedy there for Seaford, trying to get the handball out. It's on the ground at the moment. Tackle applied. Kennedy, his ball smothered. Over the line, and we'll get a throw in.
Nearly 18 minutes through. Quick update on the inside 50 count.
Looking at Langwarrin 10 to Seaford 7.
And only a 1-point game, but off the runway, the Roos just halted for a fraction of a second. The hand pass comes. Bruce still aboard to the outer wing. A 2-on-2. Trying to lick it up by hand is Jenkins. He twirls around and goes again. Had only the boundary line in mind, and the umpire says, that's all right, we'll have a boundary throw in.
Feel that the Seaford defensive line has stabilised a fair bit now and just manning up.
Sus, you've been with us throughout the senior games as well. Are you surprised that Giddings Constable's not playing back where he did in the senior side?
A bit. I did see him earlier go off with a dislocated finger, so that might be some of the reason. He's just gone off right at the start of the match.
Kennedy, who's already kicked one with front position, and it's taken away. Flicked forward, and Seaford through the agency of Maguire into their 50. It's wide. It'll elude Forbes and head out of bounds for another boundary throw in.
So Seaford have worked it up to their forward line. Who's going to stand up and get another one on the board before quarter time? Looks like it's favouring the Seaford end with a little bit of an advantage. Giddings Constable.
Seaford have dropped one back. Actually have dropped 2 back now.
Smart playing. So Giddings Constable's going to win a free kick. He's got the footy in front of the impressive lights here at Skybus Stadium. Great facilities for MPNFL Division 2 finals today. Giddings Constable. He goes in. Shot on goal. Not going to register a score. Taking the mark was Van Brummelum. He's been awarded it. And he'll look to repel for Langwarrin. He's going to switch the play. But he's going to have to bring the ball back and go across his line. Once again, Langwarrin 2-1-13. Seaford 2 straight 12. We've just ticked over to the 20-minute mark in the first quarter here. Skybus Stadium.
Oh!
Big fly. That was by Forbes. Ball's at the 50-metre line for Seaford. They're going to concede a free kick, though. The too high against Zach Rao. The player there in Flynn Kelly has been awarded the free kick for Langwarrin. And he'll look to bring the ball up along the line. Although that's going to go out of bounds on the full into the crowd. Not a great kick from Kelly. And the player in the long sleeves in Jenkins for Seaford. He goes in short. Taking the mark is Jacobs. He wheels around. He wants to go inside deep. They're forward 50. Is it going to come over the back? Who's going to be there? Who can run onto it for Seaford? But it's conceded for a behind by Langwarrin. So that's Seaford's first behind. All square here on the Chisholm Sports Academy scoreboard. Langwarrin 2-1-13. Seaford 2-1-13. Thanks also to Pro Finish Roof Plumbing. Tackle your feelings. The Victorian Responsible Gambling Foundation, WorkSafe and TAC for the support in the Division 2 finals.
Molly fighting hard at ground level. They take it out. I like what I've seen by the long-sleeved boys, Jenkins and Rao for the Tigers. did give away a free kick previously, Rao, but both fierce competitors. Langwarrin trying to get the triple threat today going to win in the under-19s, the reserves, and the seniors. This is part of the first phase. At the moment, they're all tied up, or are they? Seaford to full forward. Deep engagement. It spills. Unable to get boot to ball was Giddings Constable.
It was an opportunity.
He's providing a presence up forward for Seaford, although we are used to seeing him play down back in the seniors for Seaford. As Langwarrin are going to bring the footy in. Risky kick. It's going to work out. Should probably have been a free kick awarded to the Kangaroos there. Ball's inside the forward 50 for Seaford. Plenty of players around this pack. Hot footy at the moment. Plenty of numbers going to win out for Langwarrin. Going the way of Kelly. Almost a 50-metre penalty going against Kennedy. Kelly goes by hand. So they're going to go in short. No mark taken. It trickles out. So the pressure inside the forward 50 for Seaford was spot on there. That's what they've got to do today to make sure that they get the score on the board against the hotly favoured Langwarrin Kangaroos. The ball's thrown in. Molly back into the ruck. He just pushes his opponent out. Ball comes over the back. Got a slippery footy at the moment. High ball through the agency of Wilmot, who's already got one this morning. Siren sounds. So Seaford will go into the quarter time break with a 1-point lead. Seaford 2-2-14, Langwarrin 2-1-13. And that's on the Chisholm Sports Academy scoreboard. So a hot contest early here at Skybus Stadium. We can certainly see that both sides have come to play. It's not going to be easy for the favoured Kangaroos in this Division 2 under-19s grand final.
Well, the Tigers, before today, they've had 3 previous meetings against Langwarrin. They've only managed 2 behinds. Already a positive start. 2 more scoring shots than all of the 3 quarters combined. They have not led at half-time against the Roos. Their smallest deficit was 18. So, grand final day, expect the unexpected, AJ.
Absolutely. Jai Moley's probably been best on ground at the moment for mine. Dylan, what about you?
I'd say, huge presence, not only in the air, but at ground level too. As you mentioned earlier on in the quarter, the ability to pick it up at ground level, being that tall, and he's only 19 years old.
He's a man mountain. So both supporter groups coming in to the quarter time huddle here at Skybus Stadium. There's a sea of blue and white here at the moment. The far side looks like it's going to be a sea of red and white for the reserves and seniors game with Kringle playing Langwarrin.
Can already see the banners out.
Absolutely. They've gone to great lengths there, Kringle. But a couple of others that had impressive first quarters. Dylan, Sam Van Brumlin, I thought was good for Langwarrin. He got his hand on the footy. Matthew Kennedy looks very positive up forward for Seaford. Thought that Mitch Harvey got his hands on the footy, but Mitch Jenkins out here on the wing was superb.
Yeah, the Mitch Jenkins, the Zach Rouse, all the 1%ers. By them, they all contribute. It's not only it's similar to a Morris Rioli type for the Tigers. He doesn't exactly impact the scoreboard or the board in terms of disposals, but his pressure is top notch. And
interesting to see Seaford come from behind there to win the inside 50s 12-10 over Langwarrin. Some great goals there by Tibbles, of course, kicking 2 with Kennedy 1 and Wilmont 1. My thoughts is Seaford held their own in the last 10 minutes of play there. And with the assistance, I'd say of a 1-goal win, a 1-goal advantage win. Could take that and look at something positive for the next quarter. We'll just see what Langwarrin come out with, especially with the aid of the win and what tactics they choose.
Yeah, I think Langwarrin really need to start using the first use a lot better because they're getting the hit out every time by Moley around the ground and in the centre. He's been superb. He's getting his first hand on it, whether it's high in the air or in a wrestle around the ground. And I just think the mids need to be on the same page. And rather than trying to be precise on days like this when it is a little bit wet in the morning, I like in a grand final. I like to see the ball just being moved down the ground, at a good pace. So whether he needs to just get that first use, go a little bit longer with his hit outs at times, especially going towards the end, we can see against the bay that the mids can run onto it, and going towards that end. A lot of the times you'll see goals kick from outside 50, and they can be done on the run.
Well, they did do that early on in the first quarter. Both of their goals, in fact, were organised via the delicate kick inside 50. It was a smart decision. I think it might have been...
Might have been Storen, maybe?
Yeah, Storen the second time around. They just looked for Tibbles, and if you know that you won't have the distance, that's always the better thing to do than hope.
Absolutely. We know how hard it is at times to kick down towards the bay end. We've seen multiple games here, Sus, when the ball actually gets kicked at goal and it goes back over the kicker's head.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what the forecast is for the remainder of the day. They're tipping between 25 and 40 kilometres an hour from the southwest, and that's a recipe for Carr Street goals. So it'll be interesting to see how that formulates through the day. Here at the moment, it's roughly, we can see some flags down the western end of the ground, just we'll call puffering a bit, but to a 1-goal advantage, I'd say, at the moment. But I suspect that will increase as the day progresses.
Yeah, you're right, and it's sort of going towards the coffee cart there in the forward pocket. So it can be hard, as we've said, kicking 4-goal at that end. Not so much that the breeze is in your face, but it pushes the ball towards the pocket a lot, doesn't it?
It does, and low level kicks, no dramas. You kick that ball high, and you're at the mercy of a southwesterly wind.
And we saw that with Wilmot's goal as well, didn't we?
Yep, and some deliveries there from Langwarrin going inside.
Yeah,
we saw him skew off and go to the left. So looking at the camera, but.
I think that the dangerous kicking inside forward 50 by Langwarrin is the standout, whereas Seaford have had a one-on-one contest that Matthew Kennedy took and he converted, but the second one was a bit more of an opportunist goal. So Langwarrin do look like going inside forward 50 a lot better structurally, but whether they can start piling on the goals sort of towards Carr Street in this quarter will be something that's got to play out.
And of course they did attempt to take the game on a couple of times, which resulted in 1 goal through the middle, and it was broken up by the Langwarrin defence. So risk from either sides, and it does pay dividends if it works.
Be interesting to see if after the bounce, if Seaford do drop a man back and just cover. Just be very interesting.
Don't go anywhere after the under-19s grand final, because we have Langwarrin and Coringal in the reserves grand final. Quick tip by UHA.
Langwarrin for mine.
And then, of course, in the Division 2 seniors, it's Langwarrin and Coringal again. Coringal, the last 2 weeks, they have been unstoppable.
Langwarrin for mine as well in that one,
Langwarrin,
Dylan.
right.
I think they've got their whole quota of players available, and it shows that a young 17-year-old in Harry Marks misses out when he's been superb all year.
Wow.
Well, how do you fit a 200-game player in Sean Herdman in? But let's get back to the under-19 contest here as the siren sounds for the second quarter. The start, Moley over the top. He tries to put it in the path of Sullivan. But a quick kick by Harvey going forward for Seaford. You can see the ball just sit up there in the breeze. That was good attack by the Seaford player. He was almost taken down by Sullivan. Kelly, he takes intercept mark for Langwarrin. He goes out looking for a target. Coming over the top was the player there in Jacobs. And the ball goes out. And you can see the first kick going forward by Seaford. It really held up in the breeze. So I think it might have just picked up a little bit there, Sus. We might get your weather update again soon.
We'll go down and have a look at half-time and just see what the conditions are doing.
Absolutely, as the ball goes forward for Langwarrin. Pushing his opponent off the ball there was Cam, but he goes inside forward 50 looking for a target. Who can take a mark? No one there. It looks like Giddings Constable's going to play back in this second quarter. And the umpire circles and calls for a stoppage just outside the forward 50 there, going towards Carr Street are Langwarrin in front of the impressive lights here at Skybus Stadium. It's Jai Moley Another hit out. To be awesome to see his stats with his hit outs at the end of the game. Ball in a dangerous spot for Langwarrin, but it's repelled. Although Langwarrin are going to get a free kick here, going the agency of Storen for out of bounds on the full, and he'll be able to drive Langwarrin deep into attack.
Jenkins on the mark, and Storen too far out to score, would require a major strike from here. No, he'll just tee it up instead for his forwards to leverage off of it. Out the back it goes, and it will stay in play, but it's tickled through for a behind. And the scores again are tied at 2-2 apiece. A couple of minutes into this second quarter. The Tigers from full back.
Starting to see some ominous signs here from Langwarrin.
They have the spare man in Hunter Quint, but he doesn't use him. He floats one to half back, which falls directly into the lap of Randall. And he, in turn, puts it inside 50 again. A prominent boot coming. But it's a free kick. It was Ryan Jacobs who has given it away. And now the set shot. Oh, it could be 50, and it is. Undisciplined acts. Do not need that right now. Tied score, but against the wind.
Sucked him in.
It's just the concentration, isn't it? It's just, yep.
Jacobs giving away the 50-metre penalty there, which is going to result in a definite goal to Sam Van Brummelen.
Yep. This all a certainty. Been a major player, and he just nudges it through. Langwarrin with the lead again. 3-2, plays 2-2 in the Under-19s Grand Final, brought to you by the Chisholm Sports Academy.
So, Langwarrin get their first on the board in this second quarter. 3-2-20, Seaford 2-2-14. We've been playing nearly 3.5 minutes, so they've struck the scoreboard nice and early. It looks like it's probably going to be a 1-2 goal advantage going towards Carr Street now. There's Molly doing the ruck work once again. He gets the tap out down. Could have been a free kick to Sullivan, but it wasn't. Ball comes out. Goes up towards centre half forward. Players verge on it now. Free kick going the way of the player there in Zach Rao. Another one in the long sleeves today. He's got an option inboard, but he hasn't seen him. He's going to go down the line. Presence was there by Kennedy. He couldn't take them up. Ball comes over the top. Harvey's tackled, and we're going to get a throw in. That was a big tackle there by Mullins. We'll get a throw in about 70 metres out from the Seaford goal.
They tangle in the ruck again, as they will be all day. Molly B. Edwards. Erratic sort of hand pass coming from the Roo. They still have the numbers. Rowell, he kicked it and it ricocheted off the boot of the foot of Tom Sullivan, and it'll be Rowell's again. And now he looks central. Has a man on short, it'll have to come back.
Better vision there by Seaford. They looked inboard first.
Rowell surveying his deepest target, provides the lead. He sweeps on to the right. Mainly to vacant space, and now they'll stalk the footy down. The Roos with the outnumber. If they can just pick it up here. Randall head first. Looking to duck back in as the Tiger. He'll receive the free kick. Another lead coming from down forward, so he heads that way. They'll crush the pack hard. Juggling it once, twice, and on the third time, claiming it is Josh Whiteman. And he plays on. Probably could have had a shot. A big lunge at the footy. And he's given away a free kick as Liam Hoff. Could have had a shot there, Whiten. 33 goals in his 20 games this season. Out to the wing again. It spills out the back, and on the fast break, they can run through the middle, and they do. In pursuit, Sullivan brought down as he released the kick. A one-on-one up forward. Two at first was Quint. He'll have to be composed here, and he was. He was pressured by Staggard. It didn't affect him at all. Langwarrin with another behind and a 7-point lead. 6 minutes in to this second quarter of the grand final, brought to you by the Chisholm Sports Academy.
Harvey has the footy deep in the defensive back pocket. Starting to just get his hands on the footy a bit more. He goes back to Quint, to the top of the goal square. He's got a player out here in Maguire if they can use him, but they haven't seen him. They go long and high. Who can take the mark? It's going to be repelled there by Seaford. Standing in the way with an awkward bounce was the Langwarrin player. He couldn't get it. Ball goes up forward. So we're playing a bit of soccer and a bit of volleyball here at the moment. It's just who can get territory. Tackle applied. That's a great tackle. He's going to be awarded a free kick for too high. And that will go the way of Langwarrin. There's a bit happening here, Dylan. Free kick's going to be reversed, going the way of Zach Rao.
It's the long-sleeved jerseys. They're under the skin of their opponents today.
Absolutely. As Zach Rao, he goes up to the forward 50. But it's going to be a relieving mark there by Mullins. He goes long, up to the wing. No mark taken. Ball comes to the front of the pack. It was taken there by Timms for Seaford. Ball comes out to Jenkins. Trickles over and we'll get a throw in on the far side, right in front of the pavilion there. The Skybus Stadium, the Brian Mace Grandstand. 3-3-21, Seaford 2-2-14, Chisholm Sports Academy scoreboard as the ball's thrown back in. They've got the outnumber here, Langwarrin. They're going to pump it towards centre half forward. There is Tibbles. He's 2v1. Giddings Constable didn't take it. He just spiked it forward. Ball comes out. Tackle applied. It's going to be holding the footy. So it was a great tackle there by Bath. He's got a one-on-one further afield, but the player there for Seaford in Jack Williams was able to just put a bit of doubt in the leading forward for Langwarrin, and the ball trickles out. We're inside the forward 50 for Langwarrin now.
Interesting inside 50s to Langwarrin, currently 6, and for Seaford 2.
So we've played nearly 8.5 minutes. Langwarrin 3-3-21, Seaford 2-2-14. Langwarrin going towards the Carr Street end. Probably a 1-2 goal breeze here at the moment. Ball comes out of the pack. Quick kick on goal. But it's going to go the way of Seaford for out of bounce on the full. And the player relieving will be Jacobs, who gave away that silly free kick, resulting in an easy goal to Van Brumlin, Dylan.
He'll look to defuse the situation, and he does. It's a half-back, which can transform it to half-forward if Molly can grab the footy, and now Seaford contain it. Edging closer to the wing, and the Roos repel. Scrambled ball forward by Bath into the pocket. Back to a dangerous spot for the Tigers. Timms couldn't collect it cleanly. We'll have a dispute, which was only ephemeral because it comes out again. The umpire will finally call for a whistle.
That was the difference there, wasn't it? It was just a difference between a clean possession and just dropping the ball there and losing the value of the ball. But Seaford have got to stick to it.
7-point game. Brought to you by the Victorian Responsible Gambling Foundation. Out of the ruck, the Roos. Open numbers in the 50 and pounced on by 2 Tigers. In the pack was Tibbles.
Great support also from Pro Finish Roof Plumbing. Tackle your feelings. Work safe from the TAC, Dylan.
30 out from the Roos goal. In the ruck. That time was Orchard. To centre half back we go. Rendell under his control. And a spiralling footy hovering and curling in the air. Watch out! Bracing for contact was Callie. And he wore him well, to be honest.
It's on the far side.
It is. Umpire, let's play continue. And the Tigers across the wing. A one-on-one in the air. And now the numbers are mounted ground level. Almost run down from behind. And on the fast break is Timms. He'll have to stretch away from his opponent, which he does. And
he put his body on the line.
A big bump. Rewarded for it. Josh Edwards, 50 out. Potentially too far out to score, so he distributes into the pocket, swiped away, and kept alive. The snap comes from the pockets. And on the last line of defence, the Roos.
They missed Harrison Forbes there. He was on a great lead.
They've got reinforcements out the back and a 50-metre penalty given as well. Didn't see what that was for. But they'll spread it. Not too many numbers through the middle, just the one, and he takes him on. Max Butler. And off the bench, screaming for it was Ethan Kolb. but he puts it down the centre again, and the mark is taken comfortably in the end by Ryan Jacobs, who offers some instructions.
Good
and
kick.
directs one, dropped mark by Hoff, and it allowed the Roos to pounce. Numbers streaming forward, numbers ahead of the footy as well. It props up to half forward, out the back. Have to be composed here, do the Tigers, sweeping it up, staggered, hasn't hit the scoreboard yet today, but he can still create for Tibbles, who's kicked 2 today, make it 3, and the Roos extend their lead to 13.
It was a great kick by Jacobs, but the player there in Hoff couldn't take the mark, I think it was, and that meant that Langwarrin could repel from their defensive position. And they've gone quickly, got it inside forward 50 with a bit of a rush ball, but Tibbles has been fantastic. He's kicked 3, as you mentioned. So Langwarrin 4-3-27, Seaford 2-2-14. And Langwarrin going towards the Carr Street end look like it. It's certainly going to be an advantage today. We're going to get a restart on play. Any minute now, Moley in the ruck. The player in Whiteman's gone in there for Seaford now. Picked up by Osborne. Seaford, he's dispossessed, and that is holding the footy. Great tackle by Jai Moley. Handballs it off, puts his teammate under a bit of pressure, but they're able to get themselves out. Langwarrin going to go forward. They've just missed Stagger, but it goes further afield looking for Van Brumlem. He's really had a great second quarter. He's going to go long, get it to the hot Brodie Tibbles, who's got 3, but it goes over the back, and Hunter Quint takes a relieving mark. So he's going to go out the far side towards the grandstand. It's going to be intercepted by Ethan Barth for Langwarrin, and he can find Staggard, but he goes further afield.
Oh, watch out, ump.
Pack was forming. No one was able to take the mark.
Oh.
It's at centre half back now. The pressure for Langwarrin certainly gone up in this second quarter, but Seaford have been able to work their way out to the broadcast side. Going to go in the middle. Bit of a risky kick. Great intercept mark from Mullins. He's been good in the air so far. He's going to go with a high, long ball. Pack forms. Giddings Constable has the footy. Moley just spikes it forward. Quint in a battle there. He was pushed off it. Jesse Jewis goes by hand. Quick shot on goal. And it's behind. That was a close shot there by Can. So they're pressing here at the moment, Langwarrin.
Just like that, they've doubled the lead. 2-2 to 4-4. Chisholm Sports Academy scoreboard. Aerial presence again by the Roos. And with the second efforts, they've been able to do it all day. Right to the line. That shot goes. It was touched. And it came from Van Brumlin.
Inside 50s with wind assist is now stretched out to 9 in favour of Langwarrin to 3 to Seaford.
Well played by Staggard. Usually a forward, but a defensive role in that instance. Right on the arc of 50. Langwarrin 2 goals, 3 this quarter. Seaford yet to score. Van Brumlin and Brodie Tibbles with the goals. Tibbles leading all scorers with 3 against his name. Sleight of hand coming from the Tigers. And through the middle, they can activate Wilmot, who's also kicked a goal, but he didn't take it under his control, and his opposite number hurls it forward. It was Tibbles again. It's going long and high and probably out of bounds. A free kick in the way of the Tigers.
The silver service by Moley has just been incredible to their mids, Langwarrin. He doesn't miss a hit out.
Oh, that's unfortunate for Giddings Constable. Wasn't prepared for the kick to be that far. Inexplicable error leads to a throw in about 35 out from the Roos goal. No one went up for the ruck for the Roos. Snap goes to centre half back. Here's Rowell. Managed to engineer a kick out to the wing. They arrive on the scene, even numbers, and a bit of back chatter between Maguire and Allett. But a throw in at centre wing again. Langwarrin by 15. Nearly into time on in this second quarter. Just 1 minute of Regular time to play. Out to the barrier again. It still stays in play. Head first is that man Maguire. We'll have another boundary throw in.
What are you going to do if you're the Seaford ruckman here, Dylan? Like, what do? You can't continue to try and body him. You got to try and
anticipate where it goes.
Even if you can try and just jump over the top of him, you might, like, this is going to sound bad, you might be able to just knee him in the back and maybe restrict his movement a little bit, because it is a grand final. I'm not saying doing anything out of the rules, but if you can come over the top.
Orchard winds up on the left. Interesting choice in the pocket. Nearly making it work was his forward target. Staggered.
They're going to have to try something, because it's not working engaging in a wrestle against him. At least if you're trying to jump into him and over the top, it might just put him off a little bit.
It'll be Toby Paul for Seaford this time in the ruck. He out-duels his opponent there. It wasn't Molly that time. Just centre half back, motoring onto it, and first to arrive was Staggered. A hand pass out the back. They chain them up, and a long strike coming. It's astray, and tracking back, juggling. Didn't take the mark, Ferber. Another boundary throw in on its way. Over 17 and a half minutes in. Brought to you by Tackle Your Feelings, Pro Finish Roof Plumbing, TAC. Langwarrin by 15 points. And we have a whistle. It'll be a free kick for Seth Ferber. I think they were asking the question if he took the mark or if it went over the line, but it doesn't matter because he miscued the kick for Jenkins. And it'll be on its way back through Bruce Dillabord for Langwarrin, who squares it up. Fist came from the back, and it's still alive for Sullivan, who has a shot and comes up skinny.
Sus, what have we got inside forward 50s, some stats in this second quarter?
It's looking ominous for Langwarrin with 13 inside 50s to 3. Well done to Seaford for containing. That's all I can say now. They've only a score difference of 16 points, but we're going inside 50 again now.
So Alit has the footy. He goes in once again, driving it long to the top of the goal square. Van Brumlin couldn't take the mark. He gets a quick kick, but it's smothered. Jacobs, his ball smothered by Jewis. Harvey, his ball smothered. It's going to be that sort of day in these conditions. And Langwarrin will get another behind on the scoreboard. So Seaford 2-14, Langwarrin 4-7-31. We've played nearly 20 minutes here in the second quarter, and to be honest, Langwarrin should be further in front, but they just can't get a goal on the scoreboard at the moment. Dylan, that's going to be a great mark to Sam Van Brumelen. He's standing up in this second quarter between him and Jai Moley, we spoke about at the start of the game. Mark couldn't be taken. Jacobs, big tackle. It's going to go out. So the leaders for Langwarrin have stood up. Seaford need their leaders to stand up as well.
Orchard in the ruck, had to sprint to get to the footy. It's right at the goal mouth. A few defenders stand up for the Tigers. Out to the wing, Rao with the defensive fist to enable all the numbers to swarm forward for the Tigers, including himself.
Let's just watch the hit-outs to advantage here and just be interesting to see Langwarrin clearly in front in the ruck situation. And again,
and emerging for the Tigers, Harvey to half forward. And now room to manoeuvre. Forbes was the deepest target. And now it is Torrance, who has his name written all over this one. But his defender played it well. The tackle comes from Wilmot.
Just watch the next throw-in, guys, when Jai Moley is in the ruck. Whoever's in the ruck for Seaford, they're so worried about him that they're not even concentrating on where the ball's going to drop. They're not reading the play. So he's already got it over him.
With the second effort again, Bruce still aboard. Decided to kick in the end. Back with the fly. Giddings Constable takes the mark. Going to relieve a bit of pressure. Has a lead on short through the middle. Didn't take it. Instead, he'll tow it to centre half forward. A 3-on-1. Molly from the back. Still inventing for his Rovers. Another argument over who has the ball. A hacked kick. And it's marked by Kolb, who plays on. Moves on with haste. Teammates collided. Bruce still aboard. Came off second best, but he's back up on his feet. Shuffled kick forward off the grass. And now a little chiseled one. And they can move it forward. Their first real look at goal. And it'll result in a mark for the Tigers. Calling for it to be touched. But directly in front, they'll have a shot.
The umpires are going to come and have a chat here.
Well, the question is it still controversial if they do call a ball up? Because the Tigers seem to have the out number. No, it looks like they have called for a mark. And Sam Wilmot, who has kicked one today, chance to kick one against the grain.
Should be a big goal if he kicks it.
Will be. And he'll cut the margin back to 11. Seaford is still in it.
That's a big one when you're able to get a ball going forward towards the non-scoring end. And the way that Langwarrin have been peppering the goals at the Carr Street end with the advantage, and you just see that a ball can just fall in the lap of someone standing, about 25 metres out.
And only the third inside 50 for the quarter?
They just picked up 2 inside 50s there. That's their fifth, but geez, against the play, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Ball's back in the middle. So Moley's in the ruck. He gets the hit out to himself. Handballs it over the top. Player there in Stargard goes long. Looked like it was Tibbles going up. Bruce still aboard with a spoil. Moley's going to go back over to himself once again. He's bought his own footy today, boys.
And
the mark's going to be awarded to Jesse Jewis. It's going to be on the boundary line. If he can kick this will certainly get the crowd up and about. Certainly the Langwarrin faithful will be.
There'd only be seconds left in the quarter.
And that was never anywhere online. He was lucky to even kick it that close to goal.
Quint in the pocket. Nearly 24 minutes through. Langwarrin by 11 points in the grand final. Short prod ball to Harvey.
Seaford just need to kill the ball here.
Which they do. Outlets to choose from. One of which is Toby Paul. Gets away from the man on the mark. And to the wing. Molly. At the back, the fist came. Molly again. Ferocious at the footy. But it gave the opportunity to the Tigers. Can't be too long left in the quarter. Slipping down to ground level and then looking to provide the protection. Not going for the ball. Did McCullough. In the packet remains Jenkins. Rather Rao this time to pounce on the footy. And there is the siren for half-time. An eventful quarter for the Kangaroos. 2 goals through Sam Van Brumlin and Brodie Tibbles, who has 3 against his name. But late, Sam Wilmot's able to steady it for the Tigers. They only trail by 11 points. In that quarter, it was 2 goals, 5 to 1 straight. Langwarrin probably should have converted more on the scoreboard. And Brodie Tibbles with 3 against his name, AJ.
He certainly has. I think we'll be speaking about him and Van Brummelum and Moley throughout the whole day, the way it's going. But for Seaford, they worked their way back into it in that second quarter. Harvey started getting his hand on the footy. Kennedy presented up well there. Giddings Constable looked a lot more comfortable off half back. And then they were able to get the ball going forward and get some repeat inside forward 50s and lock it in. Then they ended up getting that goal on the board.
I think Seaford just needs someone to contest against Molly, I think. That's all. Just contest. That was just some observations there that came out that they were waiting for the drop of the ball, the ruckman. They just need to contest. And the rest will follow for them, especially in the third quarter. This is going to be a season-defining moment for Seaford in this third quarter with the wind, which looks to have picked up now, just looking at the flags at the western end. They are puffering away, So be interesting to see how they resolve that. There's a 10-minute break now, so both teams will relax. Big crowd brewing here at the moment.
They've been dictating the competition all year, have Langwarrin, and it's 1 of 3 for them today. They'll play Coringal in the reserves grand final and the seniors. Quick break. We'll see if they can maintain this pressure in the second half. An 11-point lead. It could be more. Stay with us.
And welcome back to Skybus Stadium. It was half-time of the Division 2 Under-19 grand final featuring Langwarrin and Seaford. Langwarrin 4-7-31, Seaford 3-2-20. Seaford will kick towards the Cars Street end in this third quarter, in which is probably a 2 to 3 goal advantage now, Sus.
That wind has definitely picked up and be interesting for both the reserves and senior matches if that maintains. But definite advantage here to Seaford. But again, just interested in their ruck work and how they contest. But Molly is very dominant at the moment for the first half of footy.
Absolutely. Dylan, what is your perspective on this game so far?
Yeah, Molly, for sure, definitely with the most dominance out of the ruck, and even his Rovers have been able to do him a favour by getting those forward 50 entries, and Seaford's defence has actually been up to standard. They have held up. They were under siege in that last quarter where Langwarrin kicked 5 behinds. Seaford kicked that late goal, but only an 11-point margin despite having more than double the amount of scoring shots.
So Van Brumlam's gone into the centre in this second half. Molly's going to be in the ruck, opposed to Brodie Edwards, who has got a big day, or big second half ahead of him.
Absolutely. It's already had plenty on his plate.
So Molly, he's going to get the hit out straight away. Ball's on the ground. Jacobs, he's been good for Seaford. Player there in Jenkins was over the footy. He gets a handball out. Cut off. Edwards, who we just mentioned, needs a big second half. Molly tries to run onto it. A quick handball out. Inside forward 50 they go. Langwarrin, it's over the back. Who can run onto it? Ball hasn't been kept in. The umpire was calling for a behind.
Well, they're still celebrating.
They're celebrating, but he did call that. Nice and early, which is good work from the umpire there. So Langwarrin will register another behind 4-8-32. Seaford 3-2-20. They're going to have to bring the footy back now.
Turf doesn't seem to be as damp, which is positive for either side.
Frankston City Council put a lot of work into the turf here at Skybus Stadium.
Hold on, Sus, because they're pressing Artharoos. They interchange through hands. A bit of an indiscriminate hand pass, and it's still dislodged. Towards the pocket now. Entering the frame, Giddings Constable, and they'll work it out wondrously to the wing. Molly flies in. A bit of an inconvenience for his teammates. They had a 2-on-1, and now it'll be a ball up, or a throw up at the wing.
Giddings Constable looks a lot more composed across half-back. Been a good move.
Molly tapping it down. Seaford able to corral them. A smothered kick off the boot of White, and another boundary throw in.
Umpires pulled a free kick here.
Going the way of Seaford. Much to the delight of the Seaford supporters on the far side. They've come into the middle of the ground. No mark taken. Ball comes to ground. Quick handball out there by Kelly. He goes over the top. He was looking for Bath, but it's been turned over. Jacobs, he couldn't take the footy, although the player there in Edwards went back and butted up. He comes out wider, looking for Jenkins. He can't take the clean footy, although he's going to butter up once again. His teammate pushed his opponent into him, which meant the ball trickled out. We'll get a throw in once again in front of an ever-growing crowd. We're seeing some interesting characters in the crowd. We've got a couple of Teletubbies down there. It's all happening here at Frankston. Molly, he goes with a palm down in the way of Orchard. He goes up looking for a target, and he found that in Bath. Bath goes inside forward 50. Who can stand up for Langwarrin? Gets over the back. Giddings Constable wins the race for Seaford and rushes them behind. So we've got a green Teletubby, we've got a yellow Teletubby. What else are we going to see today, boys?
I'm just a bit worried that you can recognise a Teletubby. That's what gets me at the moment.
Yeah, fair enough. So the ball's been brought out. Maguire has it for Seaford. He goes up looking for Kennedy. Goes through his hands. It's on the far wing here in front of the Brian Mace grandstand. Umpire circles and calls for it.
Centre wing, couple of minutes into this third quarter, although the clock was a little delayed to start. Out of the shadows, it's the Roos. Up to half forward, a 2-on-2. Full pace at the footy, a big hit. Back up on his feet, bouncing straight up is Ryan Jacobs. The hand pass from Molly, turned over and on the wing. A muffler kick up to half forward. The tackle comes from the back. It was Whiteman. Yet to impact on the scoreboard, but all the 1%ers are a great help, and now they can generate a kick forward. It'll be a free kick for Whiteman, rather Matt Kennedy, who's kicked the one, and he seeds it out in the path of Rowell over his head. In fact, it was Forbes. Another long-sleeved player for the Tigers. Forbes, who's been one of their more prominent goal kickers this season. 2 goals in their semi-final against Langwarrin, 7 in round 16 v Coringal, and 4 last week in the preliminary. And they won by 106 points. Right now they're down by 13. And holding the ball is the decision. Yep, affirmative from the umpire.
Michael Mullins has been huge in defence for Langwarrin.
Langwarrin can head out of town here.
Time just ticking over 5 minutes and 10 seconds in the quarter.
Stagnant movements, but now they search around the outer side. It's off the side of the boot. It'll come back for the Tigers. Jenkins. He can load up 60 metres out. Communication from his teammate Josh Edwards saying prod it short.
50
And a
metres.
50-metre penalty against Bruce still aboard. And Mitch Jenkins
This is huge.
with the opportunity to cut it to 7.
Well, this is what Seaford want. They need scoreboard pressure in this third quarter.
He's played a bit of senior footy this year as well. Listed in their best players for the qualifying and semi-final. Stepping up when it matters most. He's only kicked 20 goals since he first begun, but there's never a better time for his 21st. And the Tigers claw closer. It's a 7-point game in the grand final.
It certainly is, Dylan. It's a tale of heading towards Carr Street in the last couple of quarters. So Langwarrin need to hold on and not give away some silly 50-metre penalties like that. That was going to have to go to the top of the goal square, but when you get brought to the top of the goal square and you're able to have a shot right in front, it certainly helps Seaford get themselves on their 4th on the board as Moley in the ruck once again. He was beaten this time. Ball comes out in the path. He tries to fend off, but he didn't have the footy. That was quite comical, the player there in Osborne. It's inside forward 50 for Seaford once again. Tackle applied. Ball comes out. They're hot here with the tackling, both sides. Umpire circles, and we're going to call for it.
Well, whatever was said at half-time is definitely coming into fruition.
Great to see Brodie Edwards there contesting the ruck.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a solid win there.
Absolutely. The ball thrown up. Almost fell into Row's fingertips. Ball's on the ground. Moley's actually just laying there with his leg out. I think he may be done here for the day, guys. This would be a big story here. He has not moved.
No.
He knows it too. He's in a lot of trouble. This could swing the game big time.
Yep, he's favouring his right knee there. Might be
Is it
cramp.
cramp? Yeah.
Bit of cramp. That's, well, the way he was laying down there and holding it, it looked like he was absolutely done. He'd done his knee.
Yep.
But if it's just cramp, that would be great news for Langwarrin. As the ball's contested once again, Staggart, he's tackled over the boundary line by White, and we'll get another throw in.
Seeing Whiteman there and Edwards starting to get the tap-outs for Seaford.
Still a little sore, Molly. Just maintaining an eye on him.
He has been huge around the ground, not just in the ruck work. Free kick's been picked out here. It's going to go the way of Seaford. They take the advantage. Shot on goal. And that is a goal. Josh Edwards. So that is a huge goal. Seaford 5-2-32. Langwarrin 4-9-33. Chisholm Sports Academy scoreboard. And we see Moley coming off the ground.
A big blow. A 1-point game now.
Dylan, compare this to the remainder of the season, and this is out of the book, isn't it?
Absolutely. The previous 3 times they've met at 3-quarter time, it's been a 19-point margin, a 33-point margin, and a 52-point margin.
And Brodie Edwards again winning the ruck.
So he'll have an advantage with Giant Moley off the ground. Ball's in the middle here at Skybus Stadium. Umpire calls for it.
Seaford appear more desperate for the football at the moment.
Absolutely. If you're just tuning in, Langwarrin 4-9-33, Seaford 5-2-32. Free kick is going the way of Langwarrin through the agency of Orchard.
Intensity's definitely lifted, AJ.
Absolutely. Orchard, he goes longer. Looking for a target there. No mark taken, but it falls out the back to Bath. He goes inside the forward 50 with a quick kick. It's going to be touched over the line, and we'll get a throw in. About 45 metres out from the Langwarrin goals, heading towards the bay end.
Interestingly, Langwarrin have taken a hit with inside 50s, only 3 at the moment in this stage of the quarter. Seaford out to 4.
So there's a hack kick out off the ground through Seaford by Jacobs. They're fighting hard here, Seaford, at the moment. The player there turns into trouble in Jordan White, and he's dispossessed, and that will be holding the football. So once again, Langwarrin can go inside forward 50. They drive it long to a dangerous spot. But a great mark over the back was the player there in Ryan Jacobs. He's been superb for Seaford. He's going to come out wide looking for Rao. Ball's out in front of him. Clean bowls him. Outnumbered. It's kicked over the line by the Langwarrin player there who comes off the ground. It was Flynn Kelly. We'll get a throw in right in front of where we're broadcasting from. Division 2 Grand Final under 19s, Langwarrin and Seaford in a tight contest. Ball comes to the front of the contest. Players are just over it here. Umpire's going to circle and call for it. So we've been going nearly 10 minutes. Langwarrin 4-9-33, Seaford 5-2-32.
Kane Timms comes back on. He's been hard at the footy today. He'll be first at this one. He burrows through, but now it's the Roos up to full forward. A rare entry for this quarter. Out the back. Can they get boots a ball? We'll wait for the decision, but arms are up in the air. The umpires converse, and it's touched.
Looks like it's come off above the knee, Dylan.
Wow.
And that was Brodie Tibbles.
Tibbles, 3 against his name today. So we're back at a 2-point margin. Another hazardous kick, but it's marked by Mitchell Harvey.
Seaford will need to be probably in front by 2 to 3 goals, I think, in the last quarter.
Chip kick will be cut off by Staggered, and they're calling for 50.
It's not a mark. It was touched, looks like.
So plenty of touched balls today that haven't been paid. 55 out from the Roos goal. Need one to steady the ship. And they'll have to redo the ruck contest. Jack Orchard to take the duties for the Kangaroos. He lifts himself up and then applies the tackle. But getting away are the Tigers in the middle. They have the numbers. Remains ajar. Rao dumped into the turf, and the umpire has the same interpretation. A free kick for Zach Rao. So the opportunity reveals itself to give the Tigers the lead which they haven't seen since the first quarter. They trailed by 11 at half-time, currently a 9-point game, and it's a strong mark. Sam Van Brumlin been everywhere today.
A little bit quieter in this third quarter. He can certainly get some more footy around the contest.
He'll utilise Tibbles at the wing, who's pushed up forward, down the ground for the Roos. And he races it to half forward. Plenty of numbers around this footy. They'll diversify. It's Tibbs, and through the corridor they go. Whiteman. Expectations rise for the Tigers. But at centre half back, they chop it off. Still, astern was Clancy, who laid the tackle. He might have to again here. And ducking back through. He faked one out on Clancy to centre half forward again. Out of the grasp of Osborne. Still alive for the Roos. And the mark, not paid. It's play on. Still with some space. Some time to steady and steer it through for a behind. Try downfield. And a free kick from a tough angle for Riley Staggered.
You'd have to say the Nepean Highway end with a 20 kilometre to 30 kilometre wind blowing straight down the middle of the ground is a pretty difficult shot here.
Been with Langwarrin the whole journey. They've waited their time for the moment to come in a grand final. It was across the face of goal and still in defence. Poking it forward. Whiteman first to it. Giddings Constable to half-back. A 2-on-2 in the air and at ground level. Taking it away with confidence is Kolb, who tosses it up to the square. Out the back and right into the woodwork.
That nearly bounced over the top of the pack there and through for a goal, but they've hit the post. They're peppering. 4-11, Seaford 5-2.
Langwarrin out to a 7 inside 50 to Seaford 4.
Brought to you by Chisholm Sports Academy. A 3-point lead for the Roos on the scoreboard.
So Seaford have it hemmed up in the defensive 50. They're going to go in short with a dangerous kick. Quick kick going forward. No mark was paid. We're about 20 metres out straight in front here from the Roos goal. Heading towards the Nepean Highway. They're contesting a breeze here as we've got a stoppage in play with an injury. It looks like a Seaford player currently down. So the players will just be able to have a quick little refresh.
What a way to start the day.
I'll tell you what, this is this has got last night written all over it, and I don't want to talk about that.
Go there.
No, we don't, but this could have been blown away by Langwarrin. They've had 15 scoring shots to 7. They've only got a 3-point margin at the moment. As the player's going to come from the ground. So Jacobs is going to come back on. You can't start the game because they've got 19 people on the ground. So the umpire didn't get the memo that you couldn't start because a player came on. Still can't start. Anyway, they've started again. Ball's at about the 25-metre mark to 30 out from goal. Free kick's going to go the way of Seaford now. That man Jacobs, who just come on, goes with a chiseler out to Maguire. He's going to look further afield. Finding Kennedy, that's better presentation from him. He goes over the top, and he's got a man there in Clancy. Couldn't take the mark. Ball comes to ground. Players dive on it. Umpire circles, and it's going to call for a stoppage.
Great defensive work there from Langwarrin. That was Seaford would wide open there. Could have taken a mark to advantage.
Would have been interesting if they had kept playing, and Langwarrin might have called for a head count. Could have been very interesting. But the ball goes out and we'll get a throw in.
Head count, of course, only worth a free kick at the moment, and that'll be from the centre line.
Inside 50s this quarter, Sus?
Seaford out to 5, but Langwarrin interestingly 7 against the wind.
Jai Moley's currently sitting inside the forward 54. Langwarrin. So it'll be interesting to see what he does for the last few minutes of the third quarter and if he's able to run out the last quarter. As a 50-metre penalty is being given here, going the way of Seaford.
This is not going to the script, folks, I can tell you right now.
So Edwards will be able to put through his second of the afternoon for Seaford. He nearly kicks it into the man on the mark, to be honest. And it is. He has.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, how can you do that? That is seriously a moment that will be defined in this game.
Correct. We're just approaching the 20-minute mark in the quarter, and that was a golden opportunity there for Seaford.
I think it was Mullins who got a hand in. So Langwarrin can bring the ball out. Players fly for it. They're going to get a quick kick going forward, but it's smothered. Ball's on the ground. That's brought back in. The umpire was very lenient there on the play there in Bath.
Ball up, 60 out from goal. Seaford could have had the lead a moment ago. Now they're in a 2-point hole. Still another quarter to play. We'll have a ball up or a throw in. Torrance combating with Vagona in the air. So a throw in. 55 out from goal. And it'll go back to the same place. We'll have another throw in. Molly still sits in the 50 for the Roos. Limited movement in the ruck, you'd think, which has potentially been one of the points for the Tigers to get back in this contest.
Roughly 3 minutes left in the quarter.
3 minutes to play. You heard it from Suss. Bobbling around in the air. Hoff almost looked like a throw. And now a torpedo out to the wing, a one-on-one. Good strength and great body use by Ryan Jacobs.
If Seaford do go up, or do get up, I think he's been their best.
Down to the centre they go, but the Roos, they take it away. Molly will attack it with pace. Jacobs from the side collided with his teammate, which meant the numbers were skewed in favour of the Roos. And maybe a high free kick, not paid. Umpire let it roll, ducking back in. Harvey and springing one into the 50. The Roos go. Molly had to be clean. He slipped over again. At halfback, they work in tandem. Do the Tigers. Osborne. Happy to see it out of bounds. 55 out from goal again. This time for the Roos. A couple of minutes in the Premiership quarter where Seaford have stamped their authority. They've kicked 4 unanswered goals dating back to the second quarter. And out of the ruck again.
Left.
In the third quarter, Langwarrin with a 3-point lead on the Chisholm Sports Academy scoreboard.
They've certainly hung on well, Langwarrin, and it's not often you say that when they're out to such a great lead. But they're going to be kicking with the win in the last quarter. Ball comes over the back. They can get one here against the grain, and they have.
Wow.
That was a lit kicking the goal, as Suss mentioned, with about 60 seconds left in the third quarter. They were going against the scoring end, and that will give them some big momentum going into the last quarter when they kick towards the Carr Street end.
Well, it's a 12-point swing, isn't it, from Josh Edwards down the other end. Suss, what have you got for us?
That will be down the Carr Street end. That opportunity will be rude for a couple of days, I think. We'll just see what Seaford can do here, but look who's back in the ruck.
He's certainly struggling. He can't jump. He's in the middle of the ground.
Great kick.
But it's going to be marked inside forward 50 for Seaford, so they'll be able to go back and have a shot close to the siren for three-quarter time.
Jordan White, sorry, AJ. That was tremendous out of the middle.
So Matthew Kennedy's going to kick for goal.
Centre.
Moley looks like he is coming off the ground. He's limping off. So Kennedy, can he get one back? Shot on goal. And he just misses. So Seaford move on to 5-4-34. Langwarrin 5-12-42.
A disappointed Jai Moley coming off onto the bench.
Langwarrin drive the ball up to a pack. Siren sounds. 3/4 time. Chisholm Sports Academy scoreboard. Langwarrin 5-12-42. Seaford 5-4-34.
Two opportunities there that Seaford will rue for a long time, but geez, opportunities in grand finals, especially in third quarters. Very interesting. Sets us up for a great last quarter, guys.
Certainly does. So Langwarrin will be kicking to the Carr Street end. Seaford to the Nepean Highway end. Big crowd in now. As I mentioned, a couple of Teletubbies just enjoying the festivities here at Skybus Stadium.
One's lost the helmet. Well, in the semi-final, where they previously met a couple of weeks ago, Langwarrin eventually 31-point winners, but a 19-point lead at 3/4 time, and then earlier on in the year, as we mentioned before, 33 and 52-point leads. So Seaford, they have fought harder than they have all year against Langwarrin. No one's really come close. 16-0 in the regular season. They won the semi-final, but they're being challenged finally today.
Interesting to see that combined inside 50 sees Seaford on 23 and Langwarrin out to 36. But, geez, it really sets us up for a great last quarter. Seaford, where the club is renowned for being tough fighters and holding their ground, so it'll be just interesting to see how they progress this. The ball is definitely now in Langwarrin's court.
We're going to go to a break, and we'll be back with the last quarter right after this. And welcome back to Skybus Stadium. We're heading into the last quarter of the Division 2 Under-19s Grand Final, where it currently sits Langwarrin 5-12-42, Seaford 5-4-34. This has been brought to you by Chisholm Sports Academy, Pro Finish Roof Plumbing, Tackle Your Feelings, Victorian Responsible Gambling Foundation, WorkSafe and TAC. As we see one of the Teletubbies making his way off the wing, Dylan, it's certainly an interesting day here at Carr Street.
Yep, definitely some unusual characters, and we'll probably see it all day.
Absolutely. But how good is it to have finals footy back in the MPNFL?
Absolutely. And the Premiership quarter, which just went by, some critical moments for Seaford. We had the touched shot on goal from the top of the goal square from Josh Edwards, and then the miss from Matt Kennedy, which was still a gettable set shot.
Absolutely. As the spectators make their way off the ground, and it's certainly picking up very quickly with the numbers. It really helps when you've got only three sides competing in the three games. Obviously with Langwarrin in all three, Kringle in the reserves and seniors, and in this game, Seaford and Langwarrin battling it out. So
yet to sight Molly, AJ.
On the bench still there. I think he needs to just go and plonk himself at full forward for this last quarter. Take a mark.
Interesting flag alert. The wind has shifted around a bit more westerly, so heading straight down the ground. But same intensity, so I suspect it's probably a 2 to 3 goal advantage down the Carr Street end.
Giddings Constable's gone in the middle, opposed to Sam Van Brummelen. So the siren sounds for the last quarter here. Ball's thrown up. Who's going to get the first clearance? Tackle applied. Oh, the umpire's been red hot there and called holding the football. The free kick going the way of Mitch Jenkins. That was certainly red hot.
Been productive today.
So he's going to drive it long. Who can take a mark? Coming over the top was the player in Daniel Otto. He goes out and finds a teammate hemmed in on the boundary line. They're going to go down the far wing. Who's going to stand up in this quarter for either side? Ball's on the ground. Handball comes out, but it's going to be turned over. Quick kick going the way of Seaford. Inside forward 50 they go. Spoiled. That was Kennedy down there doing the roving. He's been good in the air. Ball comes out to his vicinity again. The man that missed from the top of the square in the last quarter. He goes in and he's kicked a goal. Josh Edwards. So Seaford get the first of this last quarter He's got his second. They move to 6-4-40. And a couple of the Langwarrin players suffering from cramp. Molly, it looks like, also Flynn Kelly. So could we see a big upset being brewed here?
Well, he made amends, didn't he? Josh Edwards.
Yeah, 5-12-42 Langwarrin. Seaford 6-4-40. Chisholm Sports Academy scoreboard.
2-point game. And Langwarrin, who haven't had a blemish all year. Unbeaten in the regular season, defeated Seaford by 31 points in the semi-final. Advanced straight to the grand final, but Seaford are prepared. They've come today with ferocity and harsh intent as Giddings Constable out to the wing. Strong defensive work by Otto. He's able to garner the footy, hand pass it eventually to himself. It's still there to be won at Giddings Constable, experiencing plenty of longitude in the tackle, and it's holding the ball.
He stood up in the first 2 minutes. Dylan Giddings Constable with his move into the middle.
Certainly has, and plenty of shifting and movement up forward. Orchard didn't elect to provide the lead. At the back, the spoil comes, and then decapitated in the tackle is Bowler. And cue the spot fire. Settles down for a moment, and Jai Bowler looking for the instantaneous response.
Jai Molly's trying to get onto the ground here. Even if he's not in the ruck, guys, he needs to just go and sit at full forward, because that will create some havoc for the Seaford defenders. You're going to have to put your best forward, your best defender on him, and that means the man in Brodie Tibbles, who's kick 3, becomes even more dangerous.
14 goals and 11 appearances this year for Jai Bowler. Have to steady the ship. Langwarrin, and not too far away, and it's snuck through.
He didn't like it off his boot. He sort of had the lean going, but it doesn't matter. It's all gone through the same way.
And that 8-point lead reopens for Langwarrin.
It's Langwarrin 6-12-48, Seaford 6-4-40. We're back in the middle here at Skybus Stadium. Sun's shining. It's September footy. Rucks are going to do battle once again. Whiteman gets the hit out for Seaford. Ball comes to ground. Players form a pack. It's going to bobble out. Quick kick by Bath going forward. No mark was taken by the goal kicker there in Bowl, and it's going to be the same, basically the same thing as last goal here, Dylan. The player has been decapitated, and it looks like it's Staggard from here, who will go back and look to extend the 8-point lead that Langwarrin currently have. So they're 6-12-48, Seaford 6-4-40. I think if he gets this, it's almost turning the tide big time. He goes in, high kick, offline, so it's still only 9 points. If it had been 14, then you've got to kick 3 goals to get in front. Mm-hmm. Another player goes down with cramp for Langwarrin.
It's Staggard. All the players that they need to show up now.
Ball comes to the back. So the Seaford defenders is fighting for their life here. Maguire, he wants to go towards the boundary line. Quick kick. Standing there will be 2 Langwarrin players. No mark was taken. Right in front of where we're broadcasting from here. Bro still aboard. He goes forward. Tibbles, he overruns it. Giddings Constable, he goes by hand out to Maguire. He goes with a long high kick. Numbers favour Langwarrin. Standing in the way is Mullins. He's been sensational for Langwarrin today. He's going to drive it long. High. Mark taken at the back. Handball. Kicks out in front. That was a great play from, it looks like, Hunter Quint there. He wants his players to just run and go. They need to just get some momentum going.
Molly back on.
So he's gone in short. They're hemmed in on the boundary line here. Seaford. Go up the far side. Ball comes out the back. Giddings Constable's over the footy. pack forms, umpire swarms, and we're going to get a stoppage on the far flank here. Langwarrin 6:13.49, Seaford 6:4.40.
6.5 minutes into this final quarter, a 9-point game. Orchard with a small piece of it. Bath met in the tackle, and Giddings Constable threading it through to Whiteman. And inside the middle they go. 3-on-3, taking it away are the Tigers. Going back in order to go forward. Edwards, 2 goals against his name today. Falling down to ground level, the Roos defence. He hangs it up in the air. Dropped mark through the fingertips. Sent back the other way without thought, and it'll work for Rowell, who has a short lead on, and he's fanned it extremely wide. Out on the full. Unfortunate for Harrison Forbes, who holds his arms up in despair.
They need to be smarter there, Seaford. They need to go to the top of the square in these conditions.
Where to now for the Roos? The sun shines down at Skybus Stadium, and plotting a trackway out of there
this
to
is
no
gonna be 50
avail.
metres
Whiteman.
here. Oh, very lucky against Rowell.
Pressure continues to rise. Smothered nearly from the side to centre half forward. Scaling the pack, the Roos, and taking it away. Osborne to his centre half forward line. Wilmot thought he had a great piece of it. Umpire disagreed. Another ball up to follow.
Crowd arguing for some holding there.
Molly has planted himself at full forward. Orchard is probably a great secondary ruckman as well, you'd say. Not committing fully. And the Tigers need one. It's bouncing all the way home. It's a 3-point game at Skybus.
Would be a lot different if Edwards had to kick that goal at the top of the goal square in the last quarter, and I think he's kicked his third. So it's certainly interesting here. Seaford 7:4.46, Langwarrin 6:13.49. We are in with a cracking finish here in the Division 2 Under-19s Grand Final.
Just looking at the reaction from all players in the centre there. Seaford are really switched on here, so it'll just be interesting.
In the ruck again. It's swiped down by Whiteman. The Roos, they've been untouchable all year. And currently, they're being heavily challenged. A 3-point game. The final quarter of season 2022 for either of these sides. Hoff. Another ball up to ensue. Seaford have been more accurate on the day. Was definitely proposing a challenge for the Roos. Out of the middle. Plenty of altitude in the Sullivan kick up to centre half forward. Spinning through traffic. Jacobs. His kick fell short. Van Brumlin the other way. Into their 50. Taking it without panic and managing some sort of hand pass, and then a wide kick. Hit the wrong part of the ball. Did Brodie Tibbles.
He had a player out there, but unfortunately hit the wrong side of the footy.
Inside 50s favouring Seaford against the wind at the moment, 5-4.
So Langwarrin just need to lower their eyes going forward. Waiting for the footy here. Hunter Quint. He's going to bring the footy back in.
What's the approach for Seaford, do you think? Sus, AJ?
To be honest, they just have to get it and go. They can't stuff around with it.
Possession. I think it's just possession. Keep the contest. Their pressure at the ball is unbelievable.
The thing is, when you're going against the scoring grain or the scoring end, you just got to play free-flowing footy. Just back yourself and just go. Like, don't get trapped out on the boundaries. Go the easiest way home. Get it to the top of the square. As Langwarrin are going to get a free kick here. It's going to go the way of Staggered.
Yeah, you have to maintain that structure in defence.
So that they can't give away free kicks like that. So Staggered's going to have a shot on goal. Has he got the legs deep in this last quarter? Langwarrin currently 3 points up. In he comes. He tries to get a bit more distance on the kick. Pushes it across. Molly standing at the back of the pack. No mark taken, and we're going to get a throw in.
We should be calling the Langwarrin team out for taking the lead and all that, but it just seems Seaford just keep on pegging them back. So it's going to be an interesting last quarter.
Absolutely. Big pack forms Maguire. He's taken. I think you've got to throw a bit of caution to the wind here. I know that Jai Molly didn't like leaping in the middle of the ground and come down with the cramp again, but he's a big enough body just to go body on body in the ruck contest. As the ball comes out the back. And we're going to get a throw in once again.
Inside 50 count this quarter, Sus.
Again, Seaford 5, Langwarrin 4, and that's with the wind.
12 minutes through this last quarter. And we're entrenched in Langwarrin's forward 50. It was disentangled for a moment. Sullivan. He goes hard again, steamrolling through the Tigers' defence. They're aware that they need to attack. 3 points down. Still 40 out from the Roos goal. The hardest challenge they've faced all year. Jacobs maintaining his composure. And spiralling it out to the wing. You wouldn't want it to trickle out of bounds. It does. The umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt.
We spoke about Jai Moley at the start of the quarter, and we said we just wanted him to go forward and sit in the goal square. But now, when there's only a 3-point lead, he's got to go back into the ruck and give it another shot.
Still at full forward is Molly. And he might have to be prepared for this one, but they're able to intervene. Are the Tigers. It's all systems go at the moment. A mark at the wing for Forbes. It's another grubby sort of kick. It stays in play. Kennedy attacks it. Dispossessed his opponents and will have a ball in 30 metres out from the Tigers' goal.
So the crowd certainly lifted here. When we look out, we see the sea of blue and white. Sea of red and white with Kringle playing in the next game, but the Seaford contingent has a good following down to the right of us. Ball thrown in, Kennedy over the top. It's in a dangerous position here for Seaford. Can they get another one on the board? They can! They've hit the lead!
Wow.
It was Lachlan Osborne. They've hit the lead here, Seaford. And the script has certainly had a few changes here today. Tibbles needs to get back on the ground for Langwarrin. He's been the most dangerous forward. Got to get Moley back into the ruck, even if it's just for a 2 to 3 minute spurt to see what they can do.
Pressuring down now. 7 minutes left in the quarter.
Wouldn't this defy all odds for the Tigers? And impeded in the ruck. Didn't really get a real good look at it. Whiteman, the Roos to half forward. A falcon on the head of Jacobs, but he's still committed for the ball. As are the Roos. Bodies thrown on the line. Desperate moments. And a free kick.
Some tunnelling.
And it's the Roos' turn. 50 metres out. Diesel, Bruce still aboard. His brother Phoenix not playing today. And 15 minutes through this grand final. It's a big time, a moment for him. And he captures it! He absolutely does! Goal for goal at Skyboss.
It's all happening here.
Langwarrin with another 3-point lead. What a grand final we have been supplied with today. You cannot doubt that. And Lachlan Osborne, he was celebrating before. Well, he'll have to be the saviour again for the Tigers, AJ.
Absolutely. As we're back in the middle after that goal. The Rucks are going to do battle. Seaford just need to get another clearance and get it forward quickly. Need to put the pressure back on Langwarrin. As they do, they go inside forward 50. The player there in Kelly just stood. It's going to be turned over. Giddings Constable has taken the mark. He's on his forward flank. The far side here from the commentary box. Over the top. That's a big mark. No, not taken. Well, I thought that might have just been paid there. It looked like the player was Harrison Forbes with a big leap. He wants to break this game open. Seaford have the footy in their forward 50. Tackle applied. Just getting it any way forward they can. Langwarrin clearing kick, but standing in the way was Jordan White.
Look who's out by himself here at centre forward. No.
So long kick going towards the top of the goal square over the back. And that is a great mark, Sam Van Brummelen.
Into time on.
So we're going to be going down to the wire here in the Division 2 Under-19s Grand Final. Quick kick comes out. Tibbles tries to take the mark. Maguire. Quick kick high. It's going to be taken for Langwarrin.
Inside 50s.
By Butler.
Inside 50s progressed out to Seaford 10 and Langwarrin 5.
So down the line they come. Who's going to stand up for either side? Big tackle applied. So the Langwarrin bench wanted a dangerous tackle call, but it wasn't forthcoming.
Ooh.
Comes out to the back. Maguire has the footy. He goes by hand. Got to pluck a couple of players out here. Harvey. So the tempo's certainly lifted. Giddings Constable, he goes by hand once again. They just need to get it on the boot, do Seaford. Get it to the top of the goal square. Clearing kick by Langwarrin. So the crowd are just getting involved for Seaford here. They're just inching ever so slightly closer towards their goal square. And that's out of bounds on the full. So the players will be able to rebound for Seaford. Inside forward 50, they go to a dangerous spot. Oh, they should have run onto it there. Quick clearing kick by Langwarrin's. Need to get a spoil in. No, great mark. Ryan Jacobs, he's been superb for Seaford. He goes in. No mark taken.
As we click down to 3.5 minutes left.
We've got another player down in the middle of the defensive 50 for Langwarrin. More cramp.
You can't resume play, can you? No.
That's Otto. Seaford fans not happy here.
Umpire's calling it for play on.
Jai Moley just wants the crowd to lift. It's all happening here.
Daniel Otto with the cramp.
So ball thrown in. No rucks, get the tap out. Quick kick going forward, but it's intercepted. But Langwarrin are going to win out once again. They go up the line. How are the umpire going to see this ball? It's going to be thrown back in. That was a quick kick by McCulloch.
Good possession there for Langwarrin and well cleared.
Absolutely. The trainers for Langwarrin have certainly made their keep today. Ball thrown in. Big tackle applied. The umpire calls for it.
Had both in there. Umpires played the cool.
So Moley's in and around this contest. So the ball's thrown up. Big spike forward. We've got another player down here. So Seaford, can they get the ball forward? Whiteman just burrows through. And the play hasn't moved.
3 minutes left.
It's the backup ruckman too. Molly in the ruck this time. He's battered, he's bruised, but he's still determined.
He's going to win a free kick.
He is. And his eyes look forward. Who does he have? 3 matchups in the forward 50. Now they all swarm back. He lofts it extremely high. They all have to aggregate to the footy. They do. It leaks out to the back. The hand pass was randomly dealt out, and a kick across the boundary line and over.
Couldn't find Harvey.
21 minutes in. McCulloch
Just take your time, then get it in towards the pocket. Don't go into a dangerous spot.
Too early to chew off time to a dangerous spot. And the mark by Orchard, although it's a free kick.
Reversed.
It's a free kick. And the Tigers now looking to rebound from their back line. Where to?
Down to the final 2 minutes.
Limited networks to select from. The mark by Whiteman, and he's reversed it, has he? No.
You can't be doing that.
Play on the call through the centre. There's only blue and white jumpers. Back up on his feet. Van Brumlin. He's taken the mark. He'll be diligent by foot to the outer side. And Giddings Constable maybe just rubs him out, but mark still taken. Jai Bowler, who kicked the opening goal of this fourth quarter for Langwarrin, runs off his line. It's a helicopter hovering through the air into open space. Again, Seaford taking the mark, playing on without hesitation. Less than 2 minutes. It's a bone-crunching tackle. And they can have a shot. It's Michael Mullins.
Down to the last final 60 seconds.
In fact, it's Robert Vagona, who we haven't seen too much of today, but there's never a bigger and better time.
Take your 30 seconds. All he has to do is go back, line up, even if it goes to the top of the goal square.
Hasn't kicked a goal since under 14s. In 2017, it won't be this time, and it's right to the line. Have to rush it through to Seaford, and they do. And the final minutes. No time
35 seconds left
to waste. 35 seconds. It could be the game saver.
Big mark, Daniel Otto. Just take your time.
He'll brush off some seconds on the clock.
Just play the clock down. This is what he's got to do. He wants to go back and back himself. It's the umpire should really be moving him on here because there's no way that he can get the distance.
Can only be about 20 seconds, if not less. Time running out. From 60 metres out. He hoists it to the square. It's swaying back.
There it is.
There it is. The siren. The siren to symbolise bedlam and exultation for the Roos. They've been the sovereigns all year. And their time has come. And the first flag in 3 years has been claimed by Langwarrin in the under-19s.
What a great match. Well deserving of Langwarrin, but commiserations to Seaford there. They really put up a valid effort, but all power to the Langwarrin Football Club for getting the under-19s up and going.